the Sonic the Hedgehog 30th Anniversary Encyclospeedia. You see what they did there? And I spent, the last week or two just slowly reading through all 287 pages of this crazy, heavy, huge, awesome history of Sonic the Hedgehog, which basically came with this little piece of paper detailing what the Deluxe Edition includes. A slipcase featuring a gold foil ring treatment. As you can see on the front, you have Sonic holding the ring. It's kind of like a foil silhouette here. If you flip it over to the back, you see his shoes right there. They're all kind of have that shiny look to it, right? It's kind of cool. A folio containing 2 archival gallery prints of Sonic and Dr. Eggman. It's just like a blue, very thin folder, right? On the front, it has the gold foil right there. And when you open it, there's the prints. They look really cool, actually, right? I love how Sonic and Eggman right there are just staring at each other. They have that comic book style textures, right? If I zoom in, you can see those little dots on Eggman's nose or, Sonic's eyeball and everything. I like it a lot. It's really cool. And so it's a nice little bonus to have if you have the Deluxe Edition. And aside for that, it also comes with an exclusive Mosaic cover. It comes with this little I don't know what you call this, a little bookmark thing. And you just pull that out and the book comes out, right? Front and back is completely filled with basically every single Sonic game you can imagine. You have all the mainline Sonic games, as well as even mobile games and side games too, which I thought was really cool, right? And so as I read through this entire book, I basically took notes of things I learned and things that I wish that actually changed, right? And so starting off, the way this book was marketed and everything, I thought this was going to be a reprinted version of the Sonic Hedgehog 20th Anniversary Encyclopedia, right? Where they go into more detail about, behind the scenes work of what it took to make these games, more concept art and information, basically lore and everything. After reading this, they don't really do that. They just kind of briefly go into some history about all maybe 50 something games. And so that's a little bit disappointing, right? I would really love to get both the 20th anniversary as well as the comic collection as well. And so before I go into my thoughts on this overall book, I'm actually going to read this introduction page here and just flip through some of the pages so you can see for yourself what you're gonna get if you buy this book. The year 2021 marks the 30th year anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog's creation. From the bottom of our hearts, we are incredibly thankful for the fans who have cheered on and supported Sonic to this very day. Thinking back on it, the past 30 years have been a really wild ride for Sonic. We finished the original trilogy in 1994, and these games are beloved by countless people even now. Even our long-standing dream of a Sonic feature film finally came to fruition in 2020, and the movie became even more successful than we had hoped. Needless to say, Sonic's history isn't all sunshine and rainbows. There have also been some pretty tough times. For someone like me, who has walked alongside Sonic for over half my lifetime, there were both joys and frustrations intertwined with the development of each and every title. As you reconnect with Sonic's long history throughout the 30 years represented in this book, it would make me happy if it brought old but important memories back to life for you. Our goal from here on out is to keep on creating Sonic titles capable of leaving you with lifelong memories, and we hope you will continue to support Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic series producer, Takashi Izuki. Everyone has their own story, and I definitely, going through these pages, not only figured out, man, these games are kind of weird, but also brought me back to certain times when I played, certain games. And so if you have a certain Sonic game in mind that you want to read about, the table of contents has you covered. This book actually features over 50 different Sonic games, ranging from the years 1990 to 2020. So they have a wide variety of not only all the ones on the main consoles, but also the more obscure titles of all the arcade versions that were never released outside of Japan. And in the corner here, they tell you a little key, right? It would have been really nice to actually include a picture of the console or device these games are on as well, to show the readers what they looked like. I know I can just look up on the internet what a Wii U is, but isn't the whole point of an encyclopedia to have all of that information in the pages themselves? For example, Sonic the Hedgehog Game World came out on the Sega Pico machine. I've never heard or seen what a Sega Pico machine is, but it would have been really nice if maybe instead of one page later, just making it all blue, they could have featured, the Pico machine here and maybe some fun facts, right? And so flipping through these pages, it seems each game follows a similar template. They show you the release date, pictures of the different cover arts depending on which region they're from, an overview of each game as well as the story, which can include spoilers if you haven't played this game yourself, as well as different screenshots of each level with a small description underneath, a variety of different enemies, boss fights, and new characters you'll encounter in this game, as well as some fun facts sprinkled throughout these pages. So for example, did you know that Sonic Schoolhouse was the first Sonic game in North America to feature voice acting for Sonic? And not only that, but it was also the only time he's ever been voiced by a woman. So you learn something new every day. And I also really like all the different concept art of the different characters or games. Like you can't beat seeing classic Sonic right next to classic Eggman right there, right? And so I don't know if these are new or if they have been seen throughout the internet before. There's also the low poly art, right? Like featuring Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Eggman, and Amy. And I love that they included that in this book as well. And so some of these characters really make me laugh. Like I've never played Tails Sky Patrol before, but the witch cart enemy, I don't know why, just those sprites are really funny. It's like she's an old hag with no teeth, right? Basically my spirit animal. It's just funny seeing that there. Whereas a few pages later, they're talking about some kind of like bird boss here. But look, when you zoom in right here between his legs, that looks like something else entirely. So I would have probably maybe went with a different sprite instead. Another funny enemy I thought was on the Sonic Advance 3 section. His name is Boo Boo, and he is a fat pig with little wheels. Look at him go, he's just living his best life. Look at his little tail. And a little tiny fun fact here that's really cool. If you hold a page like this and slowly flip through the pages, look at the bottom right corner. You'll see Sonic kind of running through the pages, turning into his little ball, and just kind of speeding away as you read through the book. That is a nice little detail that I don't know if a lot of people will notice. And so some games, such as Sonic 3D Blast, actually included screenshots of both the Genesis version and the more detailed Saturn version of each level. Like for example, look at the final boss fight right there. There's like 2 different games entirely, right? And what I think is one of the coolest things ever is that Sega actually acknowledges the Sonic 3D Blast Director's Cut. It's basically a free download PC version created by one of the developers, but it also includes a lot of different cut content and DLC. And so I've always appreciated that Sega enjoys this kind of content, and instead of like, you know, shutting it down, they kind of promote it, right? Like that's really cool. Not only that, but as you flip through each game, basically the pages, they all represent a different color as well. So some are green, some are orange, some are purple, whereas others are blue. I don't know if there's some connection or if it's just completely random. At least there's some kind of variety in the pages themselves. And what's really cool is that you have this Sonic Arcade classic patrol car, where basically the story is Sonic is a police officer and he's trying to stop Dr. Eggman's reckless driving, which actually rocks back and forth in response to their steering. And following that, you actually have the SegaSonic Arcade here, which apparently is a very rare machine outside of Japan, but involves a trackpad and a button to control the different characters as you're running away from Dr. Eggman's prison island. And so fun fact, a few years ago actually, the old hag Shepity and I, we went to the arcades and we actually had a chance to play this game, and it was really cool because like all 3 players could play at once. It was a lot of fun. It was derpy, right? We were just kind of yelling at each other. I'd like to go back to the game and, you know, try to finish it, because I think we made it to the 3rd level and then they didn't feel like playing anymore. And I was like, come on, I want to keep going. I want to finish this. Like, it's a lot of fun. But I really like how this book, you know, the little descriptions here, they kind of have fun with it and they, you know, make it rhyme and whatnot. Volcanic Vault. Flee the fiery furnace. Icy Isle. Incognito icy spikes. Desert Dodge. Dodgy dunes drop drastically. It's a little humor like that sprinkled throughout, which really feels like, you know, they put a lot of care into this book. And I like that the writer, he also did the same thing with some of these character descriptions. That's totally not Dr. Eggman. Nope, that's not Knuckles. Stop that. No, that isn't Tails. Don't be silly. And so not only is it funny, but it also adds a lot of personality to this book, right? After that, we're introduced to the SegaSonic Popcorn Shop. I actually heard about this earlier a few months ago. It's kind of cool. It's like a video game itself, but it also combines with a popcorn machine. And so as you literally order your popcorn in real life, right, on this machine, you play as Sonic to try to get your order correct, I think. It's very creative. I've never seen anyone else do something like that. So it'd be really nice to maybe try one of them if they're still around. That'd be quite an interesting experience. And so the more I read through all these game overviews and stories, some of these stories don't make any sense or they're completely random and weird. Sonic Adventures, I had to read through multiple times because I was like, did I play the right game? Like, Dr. Eggman unearths ancient stone tablets that tell of chaos, the god of destruction. Dr. Eggman shatters the Master Emerald. This releases a weakened Chaos. Apparently, Chaos escapes into the jungle, losing its tail in the process. The tail is then consumed by a frog, who now possessed by the Chaos, eats Big the Cat's lucky charm, the yellow Chaos Emerald. Big tries to chase down his Sig friend, while Knuckles begins scouring the area for the shards of the Master Emerald. That doesn't make any sense at all. What is that? What? And since we're on the topic of, Sonic Adventure, ever since the toddler days, I always thought they were drawn kind of weird. Like, why are his hands doing this, right? Like, why is his feet this way? I don't know, I guess maybe back then it was kind of cool to see them in these different poses. But like, for example, look at Shadow here. What's he doing with his hand? What is this? Is that cool? Am I missing out because I'm not doing this? Am I cool now? Like, what is that supposed to be? But what I thought was really cool was apparently when the game first came out on the Dreamcast, where if you connected it to the internet, then you could have actually downloaded different DLC events. The Dreamcast launch party, a Halloween party, a Christmas party, Y2K party, as well as a number of different other ones, including a Chow Black Market, where you can pretty much sell and buy rare chows. I was like, what the turd? What is this black market here? But not only that, did you ever want to know how chows were born? Well, let me tell you. Apparently, new chows are born from eggs. These eggs can also be generated when two happy chows love each other very much and they get together in a flower patch, they make sweet love, and they poop out more chow eggs. I didn't know that was part of the Sonic lore, but I guess now I do. And so my favorite part of Sonic Adventure 2 was definitely the Chow Garden. And so instead of just having these two small sections dedicated to the chows themselves, it would be really cool if they had like an entire page or like, at least a few of all the different animals you can combine with the chows or the little mini games you put them into. And growing up, I remember I actually saved some cash and I bought myself the Game Boy Advance GameCube link cable. And I do actually remember playing the mini games and whatever on the Game Boy Advance and then putting them back into the game itself. What I didn't know is that also worked on Sonic Adventure 1. And apparently what's also really awesome, Sonic Advance also features a tiny Chow Garden where players can play mini games to earn rings that can be transferred to their Chow Gardens using the Game Boy Advance link cable. Like, those little features are so cool that they put into these games. And so something strange I noticed about this book, apparently every time there's a sequel to a Sonic game, the overview kind of starts basically the same way. They say something like, oh, did you like the original game? Well, this one is a lot bigger. This one has more content and it's a lot better than the first one. And I swear, I read that similar sentence rephrased at least 10 different times throughout this book. And I know it's probably not easy, coming up with different things to say, but then again, I'm sure each game has more than enough information to share. And so depending on the game, you also get some extra information in these pages as well. So for Sonic Rivals, you get an entire page dedicated to all the different unlockable costumes you can get throughout those games. It's really cool to see, but it's also, kind of derpy. Like, when would I ever want to see Tails in a zebra outfit? I don't know. And so, for fans who have played through these games, maybe some of this information is already well known. But for me, who I haven't played a lot of these, it's hard for me to decide, are these known, in-game? Or is this new information that's being put just specifically for this book? So for Sonic and the Secret Rings, the main villain, his name is Erasor. Apparently his whole plan is to erase the pages of Arabian Nights in a quest to become all-powerful. His name is Erasor, and he is an eraser. So he's erasing, but his name is Eraser. But get this, it gets even weirder. His weapon is a enormous straight razor. So in other words, Erasor, the eraser, armed with an enormous razor. Did they purposely make his name Eraser? Kind of like a spin-off of Eraser? And he's armed with an enormous eraser? I can't make this stuff up, man. And as I was reading through these pages, I made it to the Sonic battle section where they were talking about the battle droids, but it instantly reminded me of the old 90s show Metabots. Growing up, I watched both Metabots and Sonic X, and so I haven't thought about those shows since the toddler days. And you know, like I said in the introduction, as I was flipping through these pages, I had different memories flooding through my mind. Like, I completely forgot that I grew up with Shadow the Hedgehog, right? And I know a lot of people nowadays say that that game sucks, right? Like, it's Shadow with a gun, right? Like, that's not Sonic. Like, that's weird, right? Like, when did Sonic have a gun? I don't remember what it was about, aside for like driving motorcycles and stuff. Maybe in the future I'll make a video on this game and, you know, look back at it after all these years. Alright, and finally, page 162. This is the section I was looking forward to the most. Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, also known as Sonic 06. If you've been watching my channel, you might know that I have quite the history with this game. I actually played it on the stream for the first time. Not only did it kind of save me from being in a dark place, but it also, you know, basically every Sonic fan says this is the worst Sonic game ever made, and I'm not disagreeing there. Like, it's got moments where it's not very good, but it has a special place in my heart, and for that, I'm thankful that this game exists, you know? With that said though, I think it's really funny that the description here says that the 15th anniversary title was meant to be the foundation for a new direction to the franchise. You know, they tried their best, that's all I have to say. Sonic's gameplay remains fairly faithful to the Sonic Adventure style with high-speed platforming. Oh, there we go. Look at the turns, I did it! There we go, I was trying to do this like the entire time. Some of his action stages include Mach speed sections, where Sonic races through a gauntlet of breakneck speed without stopping. Why? Players can outfit his shoes with gems, giving him unique new abilities. I also like how this book just kind of tries to, like, you know, sweep under the rug all the glitches and everything. For example, sprawling ruins are buried under waves of sand. Use the giant pool balls to unlock certain doors. Like, they make it sound so easy, right? But when you actually play these levels, trying to telepathically move those giant balls, it's close to impossible, right? Like, it's bootleg. Or all the loading times, right? Like, all the 10-year-long loading times. The music with the flute is stuck in my head. Seeing these screenshots, it's like, oh, this looks really cool, right? But then you play the game yourself and, like, I don't know, it's all over the place. I think this one sentence basically covers what Sonic 06 is about. Physically hurl everything within reach at Sonic's face.
It's no use!
Not only that, but Mephiles, he's the main enemy and he's hardcore and evil and, you know, like this badass character. You know, it kind of ruins the effect, right? Asserting dominance through T-pose right there. And with Sonic 06, you know, tackling time travel and everything, they do a very well job actually explaining basically the story of Sonic 06 in a way that kind of makes sense, right? My favorite line though has to be, Dr. Eggman and Sonic's friends come together to collect the Chaos Emeralds from the corners of the shattered space-time. With their power and true love's kiss, Elise resurrects Sonic as Super Sonic. Apparently there's concept art of Sonic from the original Genesis game where he was supposed to have a, you know, girlfriend, right? So it's not like a new concept. It's just kind of weird to imagine a lady and a hedgehog, an animal, having a relationship, right? And then one more thing here on Sonic 06, when they're talking about Princess Elise, it says right here that Sonic teaches her how to live. I wish the sentence just ended there, but, you know, like as if, you know, she was dead the entire time before, and somehow Sonic's beautiful, long, majestic, what are they called, spikes? And that smile, how could you resist that beautiful, gorgeous, you know, smile? Elise just couldn't resist, and she now knows how to live with her affection for a hedgehog. As I haven't actually played the Sonic mobile games myself, but this book does actually go into detail about, you know, a few of them there, as well as different special appearances that Sonic made in different games, such as the Mario and Sonic Olympic games, Super Smash Bros, and right after that is basically all the different collections of Sonic games that have been released throughout the years. And I remember growing up, we had the GameCube version of Sonic Mega Collection. I believe I actually saved my cash and I bought both the Mega Collection and Sonic Adventure 2 2 back in the toddler days with my own cash. And so it was really cool to actually, play through all those like different like Game Gear or, the original Genesis games when you didn't originally grow up with those consoles. Not only that, but throughout the years, there's actually an updated version that came out known as the Mega Collection Plus. And I've heard the original Xbox version here is actually kind of like the version to get because it includes not only all the classic Sonic games, but also a number of different like unlockables you can get by doing a number of different achievements. So basically this book tells you exactly how to unlock those, which is kind of cool. The original version I had on the GameCube also featured 2 more Genesis games that were only exclusive to the Japanese versions. If you got the Plus version, right, you can actually unlock those 2 games, but you have to do some crazy hardcore things if you want to get them. The first one is called the Ooze. If you wanted to unlock that, you either had to have 40 hours of playtime on your memory card of Sonic Heroes, or you had to play all the Genesis games on this disc 50 times each. That's insane. And then if you wanted to unlock the second game, Comic Zone, you had to have at least 40 hours of playtime of Sonic Heroes, or you had to unlock Knuckles in Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Blue Sphere, and Flicky. And that's even harder to unlock, right? So for example, if you want to unlock Knuckle in Sonic 2, you have to play Sonic 2 and Sonic Spinball 20 times each. And that's just for one game. That's kind of hardcore. I don't think I would put that much time. And so this book, like all of these images, right? All of these pages, all the text is very easy to read. Like it seems like they put a lot of care into all of this information, right? With that in mind, there are definitely some things that really stand out that could have used a lot more quality control. So for example, page 119, when they're talking about Professor Gerald Robotnik, the last sentence here, they could have easily fit the last part of the sentence to the end right there. And so it seems whoever was typing this page out must have pressed enter on accident too early. And mistakes happen, right? Like it just is what it is. But it's just kind of weird that this happens multiple times throughout the book. On page 223, you can easily see that offering boost or attacks against other racers could have easily fit as one sentence right over there. And so on page 140, when talking about Sonic Battle, there's also another grammatical error right here. The word stopped by is one word instead of separated into 2. And I know my spelling skills are always wrong, but even I know that I think those are supposed to be separated by a space. I also found another one on page 257 on the Sonic Mania boss battles. Not only that, but on some pages there's also like different little, I don't know if it's like a printing error or something. Like for example, page 168, there's a random green dot right there in the middle of the paragraph, which is kind of weird. On page 228, on the cover art of Sonic the Hedgehog 4, you can see he has like this red little circle. But I've seen multiple of these circles throughout the pages on these book. As well as on page 276 right here, on Sonic himself. Not only does he have 1, but 2 of these weird circle error things right there. And so for anyone who's ever used like any kind of like program, you basically know that if you have a small image and you bring it up to a higher resolution, you basically lose a lot of like detail and it becomes blurry. And so it's very easily noticeable, right? When you're looking at, I don't know, Sonic here in the vehicle, very high quality, and then you compare it to this, and you can really see like it's kind of blurry. It's kind of like the color, like the edges are kind of bleeding in. It's kind of bootleg, right? For something this high quality, it feels really weird to have little mistakes like that. So for example, page 176, Sonic Rivals 2 over here, as you can see on the cover art, it's really blurry and it feels like I could easily look it up on the internet or maybe scan my own copy of the game and get a higher quality version than what they have here. And then on page 258 for Sonic Forces, the same thing. Look at that cover art and how blurry that is. It just feels kind of lazy, or like it's really distracting when you can see like the character models or the screenshots or even the text itself is very sharp. And then also on page 244, the cover art for Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric is so low quality that above the Wii U logo right there, you can see the JPEG artifacts. Like, look at that. As someone who's been making like graphics and like online overlays and working with videos and images for a million years, these are the kind of things I immediately notice. For a book that costs almost like $80 to $100, I would kind of expect more. Like, I'm not getting paid by Sega or anyone, and I could easily fix that, right? Like, come on, man, whoever made this book like, you know, fix your stuff, which apparently is the same guy who worked on the Sonic Boom comic book, the TV show, and this book as well. So hopefully those have at least more quality control and less errors than this.
Ooh, let me see. Oh wait, I can't read.
And so we have finally reached the end of the Sonic Encyclopedia, and the last page right here basically features an entire timeline of all the games released from the 1990s to 2020. And I know that, you know, 2021 is Sonic's 30th anniversary, and that, you know, making a book like this takes a long time, but I think they could have easily fit, you know, Sonic's Ultimate Remaster at the end here as well. And right after the timeline, as you can see here, you're greeted to a giant image of Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails before the book itself comes to an end. And so overall, I think the book was pretty awesome, right? It's got some weight to it. It's like a heavy 287 page fat book right here. You can slap someone with it if you want. All the pages were printed out in high quality. A lot of information here that I did not know about, a lot of fun facts, a lot of pictures. But I think for like $80 to $100, Sega should probably, you know, hire a team to kind of like inspect these pages one more time and just fix all the grammatical errors and, you know, the low quality cover art and stuff. Like the fact that the cover of this book itself has some screenshots, right, that are really low compared to all of this, kind of tells me that, you know, maybe not enough time was spent in that department, and that will go a long way. And so if anyone from Sega is actually watching this, if you want to make it up to me, I would really like a copy of the 20th anniversary Encyclopedia, as well as the comic book Encyclopedia as well, whereas those focus on lore, which is kind of what I was hoping for with this one. This kind of just focuses on history and a few fun facts, and it's more of kind of like a guide for each game, if that makes sense. And if you want to know more about my thoughts on the different Sonic games or the movie or whatever else, follow my channel here. Not only that, but ladies and turds, thanks for being patient with me. I've been a little bit busy and I haven't had any time to actually edit and, you know, publish videos. And thank you for everyone else, you know, my Patreons for supporting me throughout the years, and all the people who join my streams and all that stuff, you know, have a nice chat. I hope you all have a nice holidays over there, and I'll see you on another lovely video. Goodbye everybody. Goodbye.